So anyway, this is what it looks like when you get triggered, and you gotta try and manage it. Okay, so I'm experiencing intense emotions. It's mostly heart sensation, like a draining from the heart, a loss from the heart. It's not really an anxiety. And like, yeah, you want to cry, but like, like that'll just make it worse and exacerbate it. And then, in general, trying to keep your eyes open, because this is it's a fight or flight response. It's a fear response, and so it's like alert, like I'm not in danger, but like my body's overreacting like it is. Okay. Also being mindful of breathing, because you breathe too much, you'll spike your oxygen levels. That'll stone you out. That doesn't help. But then also holding your breath isn't good, so. Whew. So for sensory stuff, actually this will be interesting. I've never tried hot, so we're gonna turn on the hot water. Okay, I can feel that the water's hot, so let's be mindful and not burn myself. Let's just make it warm and see what. Okay. Let's go ahead. Kind of like a similar effect is simply cold. The blanketing of the water's nice. And the gravity pulling it away is cool. Whereas like when you hold a cold can, it's only what's touching the can where I can change where the water's touching. Okay, and then okay, the downside is now my arm's wet. Okay, so I can tell I've been hyperventilating because I feel it's the oxygen, the concentration, the saturation of it. Okay, so okay, so I need to grab another cold seltzer. Yeah, and I feel the oxygenated chest, you know, it's okay, so stabilizing. So this is where this can't fucking talk. It's frustrating. So this is where, for me, where medications or pharmaceuticals come in. So like, I have a Plan B medicine. So like, if I was getting too triggered, or if I was getting too triggered, I could take that, and that would really kind of knock me out. So like, I originally got and I've only for this Plan B Vistaril. It's basically it's an antihistamine, kind of like a Benadryl kind of thing. So, but you know, a little more intense on the nervous system. But that would be if like I couldn't, you know, calm down and distress tolerance, you know, maybe for an hour or two, or if it just keeps coming. And so I don't need that. But I know where it is if I need it. So yeah, that's like a Plan B thing. It's like an emergency. It's like an EpiPen, kind of, for like an allergic reaction. If you want to think about it like that, except it's the nervous system is reacting. Yeah, I need another salt. Okay, it's also been 25 minutes since I was triggered and started crying. I stood in the... Actually, I cried here, and I cried leaning over And then I made my way to the bathroom to blow my nose, and then sat in the toilet and cried, then leaned up on the towel rack. And then I came out here, and I figured, I don't know why we document this, but we do. Oh. Ooh, an emotional roller coaster. Ah. Whew, okay. Thank you. I'm just gonna use that and we'll wash that bad boy later. Okay. Okay. It's like like earthquake, or how certain kinds of seizures will be. Well, there's like the main thing, and then maybe some waves or aftershocks. So like I definitely felt the initial hit. It was in my upper heart. I guess my anterior, where I feel it. This is a function of the specific trigger too, so it's a hard trigger. So I feel very tensely. So talking and explaining what's going on is kind of helpful, because it prevents the voice in my head from, like, the voice that we all have that talks about ourselves. It can't really chatter on and judge my own self about me dealing with this, because that's really hard too in these moments, to like deal with what your head's saying about yourself. So at least for what I have, for my brain's been diagnosed with the borderline. It's a combination of mental therapy, just like you would with physical therapy for, an accident or a birth defect. It's mental therapy, then the mental with the chemical, like, I don't know, like a seatbelt, or like the bumper rails bowling, so like Even though I'm feeling stuff really hard, it's not like as hard as it could be. It's like a governor. And so, I, geez, it's gross. Um, fuck. So, the daily medications help with the triggers not being so intense. And in this case, I got hit pretty hard, and it's like hitting the gym. Just couldn't lift this weight. Like I said, it hasn't even been an hour, and if that's an improvement, I mean, yeah. And even being able to like sit here and try and like talk and like use. I had to learn this. I learned this in the what they teach for the mental fitness. It's called DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, and you learn skills. And one of the core 4 skills is distress tolerance. And there's many ways to do it. For me, because sensory, I learned that like holding a cold can is something, or an ice pack is helpful for me, at least for grounding. And then, as we saw a couple of minutes ago, warm has the same effect. The second DBT skill is mindfulness. And so, like before, when I'd be feeling something really intense or whatnot, and I didn't have distress tolerance skills, that's where you hurt yourself to distract yourself from the pain. That's where you drink too much to not feel the pain. That's where your behavior doesn't make any sense to the people in your life. That's so distress tolerance and mindfulness, right? Being mindful to know that like even with the water, I can't make it too hot. I don't want to hurt myself. Or like this pocket knife is not for hurting yourself. That's not okay. That's not an okay coping mechanism. And I love knives. This shit's great. So being mindful, like when I felt myself get triggered, I was mindful, and then I was like, too bad, man, buckle up. I know you plan to... Because this time, I mean, for context, it's Thursday afternoon. You know, I got triggered around 1:30. That sales call didn't happen. That's me tempting to laugh, like I'm not upset. Like this, the world's like, too bad. And I believe everybody should learn these DBT skills. That's why I'm getting through them. And if you're watching, cool. Smash that like button, share, comment. I don't know. Always be promoting, right? Coffee's for closers. I might actually make myself a coffee now that I mentioned it. So the skills. So closely related to distress tolerance is emotion regulation, and I believe that's the core of something that I manage, and I've always managed. Um, I mean, even as a little kid, emotion dysregulation. Um, and so now, as an adult, I'm learning to regulate my emotions. And part of that is learning, what are emotions, and all that jazz. And then the fourth DBT skill is interpersonal relationships, which is really simple, actually. At any point in time, you're always balancing out your own self-respect, the relationship, and the objective, the whole point of the conversation. So think of it like a little triangle, kind of always balancing. And so that's the reason I recorded this. I am an advocate for mental wellness. I don't. There's maybe only a handful of people that have ever seen me in this state. I'm very well poised and well spoken, and I'm very mindful not just to swear and keep it professional, keep it pro. Gotta be pro. And I deal with mental wellness challenges, and it's not pretty sometimes, and the world needs to know that. So I guess this is the face of mental wealth, this is the face of mental health. This is the face of mental wellness. This is the face of mental unwellness. I'm Paul Sokol, and I've learned that I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. And so, if I'm having a bad day, I have the tools that I was taught, because it's the 21st century. There's science around psychology and mental health and stuff, like for what my brain is believed to be dealing with. I have those tools. I radically accept that I need medication because my body is too responsive. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not broken or any less of a person because of it. And I still don't believe that sometimes. That's that kind of voice in your head, you'd be a normal person, you should, whatever. And being mindful against that. Which is another interesting thing of my daily, my daily medication too, Lexapro. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but in addition to making the triggers a little less intense, and also the negative self-talk in my head, it helps quell that. And then that's also, but again, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like, I am getting better. I am getting better. Again, it hasn't even been an hour, and I'm like, I'm like, all right, I don't need to take my plan B. I'm like safe. I can use my words. I can use my tools and my skills, and I'm getting better every time I use them. Okay. Um, so I would have never been able to do this alone. It's oh, it's cost me a great deal to even get to this point where I'm getting better and recovering. It's cost me time. It's cost me relationships, including some very close, intimate relationships. It's cost me potential futures and realities that do not exist anymore. It's cost me plenty of money, both directly on medication and therapy, and then indirectly on the impact of not taking care of my mental health. Repairing broken things, fixing stuff, rebuying things, fees, fines. And I got diagnosed basically 2 years ago, and it's taken me almost, I mean, maybe 18 months to really, like, be serious about this. And, like, admit that if I don't want to suffer, there's gonna be some things I'm gonna need to do that I don't want to do. So, for right now, I have to invest in a pretty serious therapist. I have to invest in. I'm also doing lens treatments. It's a biofeedback thing where they hit different parts of your head with imperceptible electronic pulses and measure how those neural pathways respond, and then hopefully seeing if it over responds or under responds and tries to get it back to normal. That's also been helping my sensitivity too. So I guess for your own mental health, throw everything you got at it. Like, yeah, try all the treatments at once. I mean, don't blow yourself up and overwhelm, but like if you can handle it, do it. Because I could have died 2 years ago, and I mean, I wouldn't have been in pain, but I also wouldn't have done any of what I've done in the past 2 years, and I've done some cool shit. So, okay, I think the 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 triggering just have stopped, and I'm stabilizing. I'm definitely tired, for sure, after one of these episodes, and I definitely want sweets. Apparently, that's a lot. You lose a lot of glucose, crying and these kinds of things. So, also the stress hormones, the cortisol produced that. So I'm definitely gonna have to go out. But yeah, that's how a breakdown looks. I I mean it's sensory overload. I have to really keep whatever wits I have about me, and pay attention. So yeah, mental health is not talked about enough in this country, and it's embarrassing. And anybody that's ashamed to talk of mental health is a fucking coward. Come after me. To my face. If you've never had to deal with mental health, like a real mental health issue, you do not have that perspective. It needs to be talked about more. There needs to be less of a stigma, especially in specific, socioeconomical classes and ethnic groups. Like, I had a black friend tell me one time that African American, an African American black, I guess Jamaican American, if we're going to get specific about it, cancel me. They just had a breakdown. Mental illness is a white person disease. And it's fucking stupid. No. If you're human, you can have a mental illness. I had a great upbringing, good parents that loved me, but because I was emotionally hypersensitive, and they didn't know that, and I was intelligent, it was just kind of written off as a function of that, and not, oh, hey, there's really something going on. Plus, it was the 80s, people didn't know what the hell they were doing. Especially parents. Let's get this coffee raging. Oh, more water, please. Reasonably. My breathing is still a little jittery, as you could probably hear, but. Man. Yeah, I'll tell you what. No wonder people kill themselves. If you're embarrassed to talk about this, or it's not normal, or, you've never heard of it, or it's already a taboo or something like that. Like, that's the problem, man. So, let's get this coffee raging. Alright. Well, this has been me having a breakdown, so. Gosh. Okay, so 34 minutes, and then, like I said, maybe about 20 or so minutes before this, I was just really crying and wailing and whatnot, and so you really just caught me on the come down. Yeah, let's normalize what you just saw, because it sucks. And let's normalize it so that way people feel comfortable to like go to a professional about it. Being serious, if you can't tell. And thank you so much for watching.